What's up, Armor Down? I've got the 25th stanza of The Art of Peace to read to you. To practice properly the art of peace, you must calm the spirit and return to the source. Cleanse the body and spirit by removing all malice, selfishness, and desire. Be ever grateful for the gifts received from the universe, your family, Mother Nature, and your fellow human beings. That's a nice one. What's up, y'all? Um, One of the things that has been happening to me recently that has kind of upended my understanding of what's to come is I have cut out many of the things, not all of them, but many of the things that used to kind of excite me, uh, basically from like the age of 16 to 42. So like so the things that got me fired up, the things that got me motivated, the things that piqued my energy. Um, and a lot of those things revolved around like having a good time or bringing pleasure to myself, whether it was food or stimulation of some kind, entertainment. Um, a lot of it was aspirational, what do I want out of the life, et cetera, et cetera. And I would say that that drove me for the past 30 years. And what has developed really since the pandemic has been a cutting away of the most kind of disruptive patterns that have been kind of my driving motivations. And I have started to really kind of connect with this idea of just coming into kind of a patient presence where what's happening and what's evolving has less to do with me pulling, pushing, driving, and more to do with allowing and settling and being patient. And it's, I mean, more, the thing that really shows up is sleep. I, like the quiet inside myself, the sleep, the settledness. And there seems to be this relationship between the momentum that's there, the momentum in the world, and the quietness within. And that's kind of where I'm running into like, I don't really know what to expect. So if we go way back, right? I was thinking about this yesterday. If we go way back to the beginning of this kind of cycle of training, I talked about something called predictive processing. And that's basically the argument that our brains are taking what we know, what we understand about the world, projecting it out so that our brains don't just receive information. Our brains actually are projecting the world around us and then recorrecting that projection based on our sensorial responses. So it's called prediction errors. So, you go into a new place, it's a building, so you understand it has walls, your brain knows that, but you've never seen it before, so your your brain doesn't quite know what's going to come. And this is happening every moment. Every single moment is your brain kind of facilitating your surroundings and what you're able to perceive. And then when it's uh, kind of new, um, your brain uses your sensorial kind of matrix to assess its predictions based on what's actually there. And so what I find myself in is a situation where I just don't really know. I don't have Like, for example, I currently weigh the same weight I weighed the last time I weighed the weight I currently am was when was I think I was in high school. So I was 16. I don't really remember what I was like when I was 16. I kind of remember. I know what drove me. I know what kind of motivate me. I know my patterns. I remember my patterns back then. But I had such a disdain for my body. I had such a disdain for the things that I didn't have, and I was angry. I was so angry. And now I'm back in that same body, probably the even more healthy version of that body I had when I was 17. And I don't I don't have the same drivers as I used to. And so there's just a quiet. There's a the 25th stanza of the Art of Peace talks about calming the spirit and returning to source. And last week we talked about the sacred sword, which cuts through all that stuff. It's kind of where things are. A lot of it's patience. A lot of it's just being patient and acknowledging the goodness, gratitude. There's not a lot of fanciness. There's not a lot of like sophistication. It's more of a emptying out, armor down, as it were. Let's practice. Light and shadow. I can feel air at my nose, comfortably settling against the ground. Hint of air, hint of smell. There just isn't really any thoughts right now. I have flashes, like the sound of a car going by on the street created a flash of memory from the lake, but it doesn't hold. It's kind of like my mind is just resting. All that's happening is I'm just kind of acknowledging what's there. I'm not putting anything there. Whatever's here, whatever's now, I'm just mirroring it. Feeling ground. My body feels quiet, happy. Pelvis. Just little adjustments. Core. Feeling t-shirt against skin. A little bit of sensation across the shoulder blades. Just small little adjustments there. Back of the throat, I can taste the coffee a little bit. Top of the head. I'm just looking into my own mind, and it's quiet. It's such a nice thing. My breath like a wave. The inhale creates the lift, and the exhale, wave crests, empties, and returns. It's so evident. Source, whatever that is. And then there's mind. Source is not mind. It's not body either. It's housed in body. Source is in body. It has the frame. And then when source becomes mind, it's frameless, it's infinite. The breath connecting the two. And the fourth bell. So now combining mind. So source is sitting. Source is just emptiness. It's a pregnant emptiness, to use David Hinton Chan Zen kind of language. Source is a pregnant emptiness. All that is comes from this pregnant emptiness, absence. So that's source. It's just this empty well of infinite possibility. And so then I add to that, I add my form as its most comfortable, expressive form, upright, alert, relaxed. Then I add mind. I add mind with gratitude or compassion. So here's the it's like the layers. So there's this emptiness, that's source, combined with the form of my body, and then given expression through my mind, becoming spirit, offering. That's fourth bell. It's you taking advantage of this full emptiness, this full absence, turning it into presence, turning it into gratitude. Giving it its form. I just I just felt my heart, like I remember when I was drinking alcohol, I would get excited because around noon, the hangover, the little headache, the sluggishness would go away. And then around 5, it'd be like, all right, it's time to have a drink. And my body would feel this excitement. What I just experienced was that excitement expressed as a non-defined expression of gratitude. It was just an expression of gratitude. It wasn't defined by my mind. It was just here's infinite emptiness accessible at every moment to be framed in any way, right? Predictive processing, the brain does it a particular way. But then there's also this opportunity. I don't know how helpful that class was. If you watched it, thanks. I'll see you later.